Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself a ringside seat, get your soda, your popcorn, your whiskey, get everything you need. We got to talk about Cody. We got to talk about CM Punk and the Frenemies situation we got going on.
Well, all I know that we're talking about is live from New York. It's Saturday night. We got to recap some Saturday night's main event because we had some late night Saturday activity going on.
Yeah, the activity Saturday was all over the place. But before we get into the activities and stuff that we got to talk about today, we got to toast to our sponsor, Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
We trying to get that Cody sponsorship now. We need that Cody endorsement.
Cody, where's
he got the bus, and he got his own drink. Right? I mean, we can drink clear. We're not only brown liquor guys. Send us a bottle.
Wheatley, where are you, Wheatley?
Well, they like it neatly, and we don't necessarily keep it neat here. But sometimes we get down and dirty. We get in the muck.
True. So give a toast to Buffalo Trace. Never disappoints. Good old sweet bourbon.
Yeah, that's a staple there. That kind of preludes all of our other whiskeys that we drink. That's kind of the entryway into the gateway there. So when we're drinking our Eagle Rares and our E.H. Taylors and all, apparently all that stems right from here. So
it's hard to believe they weren't ever going to bottle that.
Nah,
they just used it as a base.
Until they realized they can make some money off of it. Then somebody was like, hey, you know what? What do we do with all that shit over there? They were like, well, let's put it in a bottle. Let's sell it for $30. Let's see what happens. And here we are.
All right. Speaking of, here we are. Breaking news on the WWE Women's Championship scene. Apparently, Rhea Ripley is still out, not vacating the belt, and we are getting an interim champ.
Trash. Just awful. I feel like
trash.
I feel like somebody walked into like the AEW 2023 episode of Dynamite and was like, "Oh, interim champ. What's that about? Let's sit and watch." Then they saw that go to hell, and they were like, "You know what? We could probably do it better than them. So let's give it a shot."
I don't like it either. I get it. I mean, even in the the boxing world and the UFC world, I get the purpose of an interim champ, but I do miss the stipulation in the WWE of if you don't defend your belt in 30 days, you're stripped of the title.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I liked that. But we're old school that way, though.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently so are they, because when Naomi was champ, not too long ago, she had to go out for about a year. Uh-huh. What they did, they didn't interim that.
No, they vacated.
Yeah, they just vacated that title. Approximately a year ago, Seth Rollins was champ. He got injured. Not even a year ago. That was a couple of months ago. After, now that I think about it, that was the start of this year. But he got injured. He'll be out for a few months. What'd they do there? Had to vacate the title. I remember countless numbers of champions, especially under the Triple H regime, because that's kind of a staple of his leadership, is you're not going to lose the title on your back. You're going to lay it on the ground. Yeah. But I can remember a countless amount of champions having to lay the title down to walk away from injury, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of a sudden, we get an interim champ.
It's odd. I don't like it. I think this is where the long-term booking that they try to do in the WWE now kind of bites them in the ass.
Yeah.
I don't care for it. But
this is also what happens when your work daddy's in charge and he's taking care of you on every angle possible and don't want to strip you of the title. So
to get this interim champ, we are having a 5-person ladder match, which is interesting within itself. Qualifying matches have been happening, and already qualified is Tiffany Stratton, your current U.S. champ, and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, two wrestlers who just at the most recent PLE were wrestling each other for the United States title. now apparently they're in a mishmash muck shit for the world championship. Great.
I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction.
Okay.
I'm going to predict your interim women's WWE champ.
All right.
AJ Lee.
Yeah, shit. She's so far gone away from us. I don't know if we'll see her again. I mean, if we do, it would be on SmackDown, but yeah, at no point in time do I see her.
It's the photo op, man. You got Punk running around with a belt.
They did that. They did that on Raw with the world title and the Women's Intercontinental. But I'm looking at who we've already got. We've got Tiffany Stratton, young up-and-coming superstar in the WWE. We got Jade Cargill, young up-and-coming superstar in the WWE. You know there ain't no way Work Daddy ain't getting Charlotte Flair in there. I mean, hell, she's definitely wandering her way into this muck.
There is one person that I would like to see wander their way into this, even though I don't believe they would have a shot in hell.
Who's that?
Kendall Gray from NXT. I would like to see her somehow thrown into this 5-way dance.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, but I think the process is it's all SmackDown superstars and I don't think they're going to do a call up this close to SummerSlam. I definitely don't think they're going to debut anybody from NXT at SummerSlam. Maybe at the show after when Big Cass comes back. You know, they're already doing debuts then.
There's also been reports that they've not had anything creatively for her. Well, Jordan Grace, please enter back into the picture.
Yeah, now she should definitely. I mean, she's a SmackDown superstar that we haven't seen, and when we did see was being misused like all hell. So yeah, they definitely need to find a way to get her in that mix. And I don't know if they'll do it, but they definitely do. What about Fatal Influence girl?
JC Jane?
Yeah. What about her? You think they find a way to get her in there?
I do. I also think they should find a way to get Chelsea Green in there.
They definitely should, but I don't know if there's good. Yeah, with only having 5, I don't know if we've got a spot for a comedy.
I think I don't know if she'll be comedy though. More or less, I think she would be maybe a foil for Tiffy. Maybe that
I'm sure she'll be involved in the match,
somehow.
But I mean, as a participant in the match, I don't know if we've got room for. She will be comedy in the match though, because what her and Tiffany got is gold. I mean, they are funny together. They're not like R-Truth and Damian Priest level funny, but they make me chuckle. And I mean, hell, they're both cute, so it's not like I'm complaining about.
Is that what you call it these
days? That is what I call
in your stage of life, a chuckle.
I was going. Once you get to a certain age, you have to respect the young girl, so you call it. They just give you a chuckle.
Yeah, the chuckle.
I mean, I'm definitely not complaining.
A chub, but a chuckle.
Right, exactly. I'm not complaining when either one of them get on the TV screen, though. So, but I'm sure we'll see both of them involved in the match amongst others. But up until we see all the participants, which I guess we've got a week to get to, so I don't want to claim to know a winner. But
yeah. Speaking of winners, though, let's talk about your new women's tag team champions.
There you go.
Fatal Influence.
Yeah, they took down the mishmash team. That's the word for this week anyway, because everything in WWE because of injury here and injury there seems to be mishmash nowadays. But they took down the mishmash tag team of Paige Bella, so they're done.
So do I like the idea of them being tag champs? Sure, it's fine. I mean, I like it better than I did Paige and Brie. So okay, that's all well and good. However, just like the men's tag division, man, they don't give the right respect to these tag titles. No,
they definitely have so much work to do. That they at least aimed in the right direction by giving it to an established team. That's a start.
They've got the main belts figured out, the Intercontinental belts figured out, the U.S. belts figured out. All of that's great. The tag belts are just like,
they're just there.
It's crazy.
They're trying to make something work out of both sides. I mean, the Raw tag team title is it's the Vision, but good Lord, it isn't the original Vision tag champions that we started with, again due to injury.
I like Truth, and I like
Priest. I was going to say same thing on SmackDown. You got another, throw together team over there. I don't even know if they have it established. Fraxium is the only team that I could think of that's established.
To be honest with you, that's what I was about to say. If anybody should be wearing the tag belts, Fraxium.
True, but who the hell do they work with? Because all the other good tag teams that they had, they cut.
Yeah.
Like New Day and Motor City Machine Gun. Could you imagine Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium going for the tag titles? Yeah, but they decided to cut them, so we don't have that. So it seems like they cut the tag division when they did it. I mean, they almost could have sent them with them, but and I've heard a lot of concerns about this, and they did it with the women's tag titles where they just combined them and made one set of belts. Now, we know on this show how much I hate combining titles because they do that whole wear 4 belts out to the ring.
Right.
But they need to do away with 2 sets of titles. You just need WWE World Tag Team titles, 2 belts to give to 2 men, and just let them travel between show to show.
I don't argue with that.
I mean, hell, they're splitting the work in half, so it's not like they're doing double work. They may have to do double travel, but I mean, hell, you're tagging out all through the night. So.
I also don't mind, Fatal Influence having these belts. They're a good tag team. They were great in NXT. They
also not bad to look at.
True. They do follow they do continue. I've noticed that tag teams in the WWE, they always center around 3 people. And that's the oxymoron of a tag team. You're getting the Freebird rule.
Well, I was going to say, but who's the head booker? I mean, who's your head creative writer? Yeah, Michael P.S. Hayes, who probably created the Freebird rule in the first place. So he thinks that's the thing. And then you got Triple H on the side, who's used to tagging with Shawn Michaels and Chyna. So, I mean,
true.
Come on now. When these are your guys, and then Bruce Pritchard, who wrote all that shit. So when you're looking at this as who your creative is, speaking of creative, after seeing Unreal this week, not a lick of color in that room to save your life in there.
No, and I'm starting to think Bruce may need to go out to pasture.
Holy hell, yeah! But when I look at the creative room, the first thing I think of is bland chicken, because I'm like, they ain't an ounce of seasoning in that damn room to save its life. But I'm also looking at who you got in there. So Bruce is the true wrestling guy out of everybody in there, out of every face that I see in there now that Road Dogg's gone. And Triple H, of course, is the boss, so he's different. But Bruce is the wrestling guy that I see in there. Everybody else is writers. I mean, they could all go to Hollywood and do the same gig right now.
Heyman's coming in from time to time.
Well, yeah, but he's not creative. I mean, Heyman's got an on-screen role, so you can't call him creative because he, of course, is going to guide his own creative. Right. So, he's invested where he needs to be. And, yeah, he chimes in when necessary, but unless they give him creative and say, hey, Bruce, you can support Paul, but Paul needs to be the guy, that's what we're dealing with. I feel like Bruce is your wrestling guy. The other ones are trying to create stories, and then Triple H tries to manage it all into it. And I think that's where the problems come in that we're dealing with right now. One, again, bland chicken. There's that, because now you're writing for your Obafemis and your Trick Williams and your Carmelo Hayes and your Javon Evans and your Sol Rukas, and I could go on and on and on. But that's why most of that stuff don't translate. That's why it gets hokey when you get out there, because they ain't getting nothing written for them authentically. Right. They're just getting some wrestling shit and told to go make it work. But the second part of it is, it's great to have story writers in there to advance storyline, but hell, you got to have some wrestling guys in there that know wrestling. I mean, it's hard to you don't send a shoe salesman out to sell cars, right?
Right.
So you send a car salesman out there to do it. So when you bring a bunch of Hollywood people in and say, "Hey, write me wrestling," yeah, great, the idea is perfect. But hell, at some point in time, you want to incorporate the wrestling.
True. That's why, to me also, they've got tons of great producers backstage that can put a match together. Mm-hmm. And that's because of, look at the experience of it.
Exactly. Right? Some of those faces should probably be in the creative room. Right?
That's where I was heading.
Yeah,
I mean, who wouldn't want to see people like Adam Pearce or Bobby Roode or Abyss or Petey?
Yeah, I mean, they've done it, or we could find anybody of color to bring in.
True. So, I mean, it begs the reason that maybe that the tide needs to change in there, but unfortunately, this goes back to a bigger conversation that's not even Triple on our K. topic. That Triple K and TKO.
Yeah.
So let's get back on topic though for real quick. Let's talk about we were going over Saturday night's main event. Bayley versus Lyra, hard hitting match. Crazy finish with Lyra and the Bulldog choke again.
Yeah.
I cool finisher with her. I like that better than the old Nightwing or whatever she's trying to utilize, right? But the bigger story here is Bayley got buried in that match.
So we we talked about going out on your back and, the blah, 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 how you lose the title. It's also how you leave the the territory back in the day. Old school wrestlers know when you're on the way out of the territory, you kind of take an ass whooping. And I mean, Bayley took one.
She gave one too, though.
She gave as good as she got.
Busted Lyra up pretty good, but at the same time, seeing Bayley lose in that fashion, I don't know what the road is for Bayley. Don't know where it all winds up. Don't know if she stays with WWE. Don't know if she goes to AEW. Don't know if she just foregoes the career altogether and just starts a wrestling school, because she's been dabbling in that for the past year. Wherever it goes for Bayley, I wish her well. If she stays, I wish her well. But I will say, I won't be sad to see her go.
Yeah, I mean,
I always like seeing Bayley on screen, because Bayley was one of those that's like Finn Balor. You just, you know what you're getting, and every time it's satisfying to watch. It's just good wrestling.
So very true. I would definitely hate to see her go too, but I mean, her in the same vein of conversation that we had with Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, at some point, where does she fit anymore?
She's done it all.
Yeah, well, that's right. So that's the thing. Once you've done it all, the only thing you've got left is to either do it again or make all young talent. So either now she's going to turn into a jobber, or she's going to turn into Mercedes Moné 2.0, where she wins 14 damn titles, even the men's title at some point.
Do I believe that she's going to leave and go and fight Mercedes Moné? Yes, I do believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like they're
great friends. It should happen.
I don't know if you saw the Bellas podcast, but they had the Bellas podcast did an interview with Bayley and Paige was there, and somebody else was there, but Bayley and Paige were the two that I was focused on, because while they were taking group pictures, the whole time they were trying to get all 5 girls to take the pictures, you only see Bayley and Paige have a conversation on the side. They're just chit-chatting away. And I may not be a lip reader, but I'm pretty good at watching women's lips, right? So I keep an eye on that. And I swear, and somewhere in there, I saw Paige say, AEW's not so bad. So I don't know why that would come in conversation. I don't know what Bayley may have asked to get us there, but I could definitely take an educated guess.
Look, if anything, I'll spin it in a positive direction. AEW could use some women's star power like Bayley.
Yeah, well, they could use some women's leadership like Bayley. I mean, here's someone who knows what they're doing.
Now,
because they don't.
Let's say this for a minute. TNA, when TNA was in its early days, right? Mm-hmm. TNA had everything that was cooking. They weren't quite there, but what put TNA on the map?
X Division
put TNA on the map. Absolutely. So once the X Division got out there, people's eyes started getting to the product. The men that were in the main title picture, they started stepping it up. All of that, but there was another part of that company that saw the eyes and go, ooh, we could bring something to the table that ain't really out there. Yeah, and what was that?
That was the Knockouts division.
The Knockouts division.
The Knockouts division is what got us out of the Divas era.
Correct.
Because in WWE, we would still be doing bra and panty. Wait, is this a bad thing? Hold on. Okay, sorry. I digress. Let me get out of that.
I love it.
But
somewhere in there, the air brake got pulled.
Yeah, exactly. Because I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Did they screw us in this? Yeah, I feel like they screwed us in this, because otherwise I'd be in bliss right now. But in bliss right now.
No, Ryan Cabrera, we're sorry.
What a statement. But no, I digress. Yeah, up until then, I mean, the women, and we've heard as much from AJ Lee. We've heard from Paige. All of the women from that era, they were getting 30-second title matches, for Christ's sake, until the Knockouts division came. And then the Knockouts division said, you know what? We've got Awesome Kong here. We've got Gail Kim here. And we're just going to let them go out there and do their thing. And then other girls started to pull behind them. And before you know it, the women's division in TNA was by far outpacing the women's division in WWE. It was embarrassing.
It was really cool to see them step up the game, and like you said, it pushed the narrative forward in the WWE to break out of the Divas division. So what if this was to happen? What if Bayley does go into AEW and their women's division just takes over?
Well, 2 points on that. One, it can't get no worse. I mean, if you bring Bayley in there, with her experience, her expertise and whatnot, and we've heard this about Tony Khan before. We heard it recently on the Dark Side thing with Jeff Jarrett, where Tony was like, Jeff's an asset. He knows the business inside and out. He's really been a help. I'm like, well, it ain't translating to TV, but if you say so, whatever, pay the man and, appreciate. Right. But what if that does happen with Bayley? Jeff's 55 years old, right? He ain't going in there and going after the world title. He can't spearhead the men's division, even if he is creative and, experienced. But Bayley can. Bayley's of the right age, of the right skill set, with the right talent, that she could not only guide the women's division into a better direction, she could spearhead the thing. She could go in there and beat someone for a world title and be the face of that division and make that division relevant. And that's not a bad thing. If I'm Bayley, hey, I'm chomping at the bit for that opportunity, because she ain't doing that over where she's at right now. They've got, and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have said as much. They got the young talent chomping at their heels right now. They're nipping at their ass. They've got no room for error over there. When you get to your mid-30s and that, you might make an error. You don't want to be in that position. So if you can go over to, what may or may not be greener grass, but if you can go over to a division with potential and elevate it, and make it better, well, hell, your stock just went up 1,000,000 times. She could come back to WWE in 5 years and make triple what she's making now.
If she walks over to AEW, she can call her shot.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. She can call her shot. TK will pay her for it. It'll be something interesting to watch and see. But at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen.
Her and Mercedes are gonna run into each other. Yeah, of course. That would actually get me to turn their shit back on, because I legit have not watched an AEW piece of product more than a clip on Instagram at all this year. I don't know when I stopped last year. It may have been a full year at this point where I just took Dynamite off record and just said, you know what? I'm not even going to try and catch up with it.
Don't worry, AEW fans. I still got you back.
Somebody does, because hell, not that y'all are listening.
I ain't watching the week to week, television program, but I do still watch the.
That's for the two of y'all that may still be listening, because we abandoned we got off that ship like the rich dude on the Titanic. We got off with women and children were going. We went with them.
All right, we got to move on to something else that happened at Saturday Night's Main Event, but where it's transitioning to. So you had the tag team match of Cody and Punk versus Gunther and Sammy.
Ooh.
Interesting match.
Uh-huh.
But the more interesting thing that kind of pulled out of that match was Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Screwing Gunther again for a title shot, according to Gunther.
Absolutely. But this was the official screw here. This wasn't.
Yeah, this was the Montreal screw job.
Yeah, this wasn't management pulling a power play type thing. This was Nick getting physically involved and said, you know what? Yep. I will not let you mess up this main event going into Mania or going into SummerSlam. I will keep you out of this.
So it got interesting there, and then on the SummerSlam kickoff show, it got more interesting as Hunter was out there starting to promote the show. Gunther comes out to the stage, starts blaming everybody for what happened.
Yeah.
And then Hunter basically looked at him and was like, what did you expect him to do?
Yeah.
You pushed this man to this point.
Yeah, he said, you were beating him up. You were getting physical with him. You did everything you possibly could to him. He's still a man. At the end of the day, he's still a man. Now, WWE's got a week and a half. They've got 2 SmackDowns left to try and convince me that Nick Aldis could stand up to Gunther, right?
All right.
Because I'm not, I represent the common WWE fan, right? So I don't know the NWA history. I don't know the TNA history.
That's where
all I know is this guy's a tall, good-looking dude in a suit.
That's where it needs to come to fruition come SmackDown.
Absolutely. And we got 2 SmackDowns to do.
What needs to happen, you do not put Nick out there in front of the fans. Last thing I want Nick to do is start giving his diatribe of wrestling history, and I don't need the watch chance to start.
Yeah, right.
Here's what you need to do, WWE, to get Nick Aldis over with the fans in a short amount of time. Put Nick backstage. Put him in his suit. Give him a chance to start being nostalgic. Make him look at his robe and make him look at it and go, there's been a lot of history in this robe. These are the matches that I have fought in this robe. And then give me some short clips.
Yeah.
Y'all are friends with Billy Corgan down in NWA.
Absolutely. And they're definitely in a working relationship with TNA.
Right. Give me some clips of Nick, wrestling, coming out in that robe, the matches that he's had. You can't give me the one that I want because unfortunately that's property of TK.
Right, yeah.
You can't give me the all-in footage with him and Cody.
Yeah, right. We're not getting that.
But you can have Nick, further the story and say, I've even had a dust up with QB1 in the past.
I mean, hey, Nick. So Nick, I mean, if I remember right, he ran into Cody and TNA. So I mean, you could wander into that. You know, there was a lot of history that Nick had being NWA World Champ that doesn't only circulate around one guy. I mean, especially that you may not want to show him against Cody because they split. They went 1-1. They never really had that rubber match, and we don't want people in WWE. We don't want WWE fans to start getting a hint of what if those two tangle again. We don't want that.
But here's what I want, though. You give me that, and then to wrap up the promo, Nick, just kind of summarizes it and says, Gunther, you are the best example of an old school heel in this company. I am a best example of an old school wrestler that has yet to show my capabilities in this company. At SummerSlam, let's put it all out there on the line for the fans to see.
So I don't dislike that. While you were saying it, though, just based on what we were just talking about, I thought of something a little bit different. I was thinking, again, Gunther's the career killer, right?
Yeah.
You gotta at some point you want to reestablish that because AJ Styles just said on CVV recently, you don't want to waste that opportunity.
Right.
We gave him a hell of a rub. He got the John Cena rub.
Right.
You got to get him back in there. He's taken out Goldberg. He's taken out Styles. He's taken out Cena. Why not at this point take out Nick Aldis?
Yeah, that'll definitely be part of.
Well, that's what I mean. But you got to get there, right? I mean, I know it's a slow build, but that's what happens when you have all these damn shows packed in the middle. You don't have time to build a SummerSlam because you're screwing around with Saturday Night and things like that. So I hope they get there.
I think there has to be something that ignites that, though. Whether it be, I don't think Nick will put it out there, but I think it'll be Gunther.
Well, it's got to be a challenge.
It'll be something along the lines of Gunther is like, I've been screwed out of this, screwed out of that, blah, blah, blah. You've screwed me over so much.
Yeah.
I'll take this match. I'll get in the ring with you. But if I win, I want your career as a wrestler.
That ain't bad. How about what else we just talked about? How about when it's time to give that inspirational, go home speech and all that? Why don't they have Cody come in and do that? Then they could reminisce on their history together. That way you don't have to show the clip. We don't need the video clip. We got the two guys right here. They're under our umbrella. Have them come in there and say, hey, we went 1-on-1 for the title. You beat me. You beat me for my world title. I beat you for my world title.
Now that you've said that, I need to see Cody and Nick on screen together Friday night.
That's what I'm saying. You want to get those two because you're not going to be able to revisit that history, and that's probably Nick's biggest match in his career, right?
Yeah.
As far as the WWE audience would be concerned, it's by far the biggest match in his career. It's the only guy that we care about that he still could. So you put those two together and just have Cody tell him, hey, with what he's done to you over these past, I need you to go out there and give it all. I need you to leave it all on the line.
Or you could put it into the doubt scenario of Cody's like, Cody, Nick, I've been in the ring with Gunther. Are you sure about this? So
Cody's been in there with him twice, but he's beat him twice.
Yeah.
So I feel like if anybody's going to give him that inspirational, it's him. But I think even Cody could lead into that Nick saying where Nick would be confident enough to say, I'll put my career up, because Cody could tell him, you're going to have to leave it all on the line. Gunther's coming out there to take your career. Gunther's going to want to end you.
You know who else?
And then you have Nick get fired up behind it and say, you know what? I don't need him to come and try and do it. I'll give it to him on a silver platter. If you can beat me, if you're bad enough to beat me, I'll retire. And then at that point, Nick leaves it out there for Gunther to get his heat back.
You know who else I would like acknowledged in this, though? Just for one brief moment. Whether it's a short snip right before he walks out to face Gunther at SummerSlam, or whether it's in the next SmackDown building up, I want somewhere, somehow, Mickie James.
Yeah, she'll be on the next season 4 of Unreal. We already know when that's going to happen. Don't worry about it. She'll be lined up for season 4 of Unreal.
I don't want to see her wrestle no more. I just want to see her be a part of this.
You will in Unreal. About a year from now, you'll see her in Unreal. When they recap this storyline right now, you'll see Mickie back there. They'll kiss in the back and they'll cry and blah, 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 boo, hoo, hoo. That's where she'll be. 100% guarantee her ass is already lined up for that.
All right, before we wrap up today's show, we got one more topic to talk about. We got to talk about Cody, and we got to talk about CM Punk. Now, the last that we left this, the brisket was in the fridge seasoning and dry brining and getting ready to be put on the smoker.
That's where we left it.
That's where we left it.
You said you were ready to eat. You said at this point, I'm tired of waiting. I'm ready to eat. So ready. WWE, they served you up a platter now.
They served me up. If you got to eat it. They served me up an appetizer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you got to eat yet, but they definitely served you up a platter here. They got your they wetted your taste buds.
So as Trick says, let's talk about it.
There you go.
So at the end of the tag match, now the tag match went beautiful between the two of them.
Yeah.
There was no will they coexist. No, they coexisted perfectly fine.
They did.
It's definitely interesting by the the way the conversation went, but they coexisted just fine. But as it ended, we did get the scene of Cody walking over to hand Punk the belt. Mm-hmm. We did get that scene.
Yep.
But the scene we got after was very interesting because nobody saw that coming. Punk took the title, whipped it over his shoulder, and caught Cody in the eye.
Yeah, in the bad eye.
In the bad eye, the one that Randy kind of messed up.
So you know why I appreciated that part of this angle is because typically when one guy hands the other guy the belt, you know that he won't let it go, and now you're tugging at it.
It was different.
Yeah, and then you pull each other in, and then you're about to kiss, and then the lights go dark, and then it's like this. But so luckily they didn't go into that. They handed it. He handed him the belt fine, pat him on the shoulder. Punk shook his hand, and then he turned to just walk away as normal people would do, right?
Yep.
But you got a little inkling of dissension in the ranks there. You got just a taste.
Taste.
That was kind of all we needed because hell, the wick on that firecracker was short as hell because that little bit of firecracker wick turned into a big ass explosion.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they added more to our appetizer plate because WWEBackstage.com, they caught a snippet of Cody approaching Punk, saying,
he was highly offended.
He was hot. He was like, "Hey, what was that all about, dude? What the fuck? Why did you do that?"
And Punk, because he took acting courses while he was on his hiatus from WWE, said, "Dude, what the hell are you talking about? What are we doing here? What? We just won a match.
All of this was happening, and a couple things that happened while this was going on that I thought was very interesting.
Okay,
I love how they played it up.
Okay,
loved it. First things first, was it Jackie? It was Jackie that was doing it, right?
Yeah.
Jackie got the hell out of there.
Yeah, because she saw it coming. She's like, "Ooh, that's good coming out of this."
She split fast, so that was cool. They got in between each other. They got in there. They were jawing and everything else, and then here comes Bobby Roode. Mm-hmm. Which Bobby Roode, you only see Bobby Roode on two shows. NXT, if you go back in the archive, and Unreal. That's the only time you see.
That's about it.
That's the only time you see Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
So you see,
you see his entrance every week on SmackDown, so that's cool. But
so you see Bobby getting in between the two guys. All of them telling the cameras go away. Which was great. Now,
which means that'll be on Unreal.
It'll be on.
Yeah.
Who pulled Cody away from Punk though?
I missed that. Who did that?
Trick.
What?
Yeah, so that's the other part. They
found a way to get Trick involved in that somewhere.
That's the other part that made this kind of interesting. You have a quote unquote heel. He's not a face.
He's not a heel.
He's not a heel, but you got a quote unquote.
He's just a guy.
He's a guy, but he has no vested interest in this at all. He's not been involved in this storyline at all. But you can tell, like, okay, so in this scenario, Trick was one of the boys in the back breaking up a fight. Because this really ain't supposed to go down until SummerSlam.
Is that what it was? Or was it a small inkling of a seed being planted of who might wander their way into this interaction? Because on one hand, you got the glorious one, right?
Yep.
On the other hand, you got the anointed one. I mean, come on now. I see magic being made here.
True.
When you got so I'm looking at a 4-point star here. I'm seeing your two heavyweights on top. Well, I'm seeing them two orbits on the side there. Again, the glorious one on the way out, the anointed one on the way in.
So we got that. We got that added to the plate, and then we got a small other little portion added to the appetizer plate at the kickoff show.
Yep.
So
Cody has no good luck at these kickoff shows, right? Like he should not go.
No, but here's the thread that they are starting to tell about Cody that they're not telling. They're showing. They're not telling it. Cody is addicted to that championship belt.
Yeah.
He is addicted to it. He has to have it.
He always finds his way in it. He always finds his way around it.
Now that's different. Now I know the IWC who's hollering, I don't want Cody nowhere near the championship belt. Trust me, I feel you. I'm tired of Cody in the championship picture myself. To me, Cody needs to go away for a while, but that's very clear. QB1 has it in his head. He's not going away. He's got to be at every show.
He's also not turning heel.
He's not turning heel. It's just not.
This would have been a great time to do it, but we didn't.
So, but what is starting to become evident for me, if you wanted to ever go down the road of turning him heel, his addiction to the WWE Championship belt is the fire starter.
Yeah,
it's there.
And I mean, I see this in long-term storytelling.
Right.
Let's talk. I mean, let's honestly talk about it. We got a couple of minutes, I'm hoping, but let's talk about. So you're talking about the addiction, and we know. I mean, WWE will never say it. They won't even say it on Unreal. Nick Khan will swear that it's not true, but we know they basically fast-tracked everything that was planned for Mania to SummerSlam.
Oh, of course.
Which means this whole Cody thing was supposed to happen with Punk at WrestleMania next year at some point in time, in some way, shape, or fashion.
Right.
What better way? And I think we've mentioned this before, so I'm not getting off that horse. I'm going to die on this horse if I have to. But what better place to turn the American Nightmare heel than in Saudi Arabia?
Agreed.
Where we're already heels. I mean, God, anything
Agreed.
American over there is a heel like nobody's business. So if you're going to do it, that's definitely the place to do it. But I feel like because we shotgunned this whole thing into action 7-8 months early, I feel like at this point now they're like, well, hell, we got to do something. So I think they may be leaning more towards doing that with Punk now.
You also have a story being told with Punk that is a story being shown but not being spoken about. So Cody's being shown his addiction to the WWE Championship belt, right?
Yep.
Punk is being shown as kind of the pseudo hypocrite.
Kind of. Hell, he
is.
His offense on Unreal shows he's the full hypocrite at this point.
So there's two stories here that are being shown to you as the fan that's kind of being left out there to be fan fiction.
I was going to say it's being left for us to write.
Yeah, and that
they're not going to address those things, but
that's the part that I am actually cool with.
Yeah,
because
it makes it interactive. It gives us shit to talk about.
In many of the stuff that we followed throughout our childhoods and stuff, following X-Men and Batman and in Superman and stuff like that, right?
Spider-Man coming next week.
So look, in all of our stuff following that as we were growing up, hell, even to now as adults, right? There is stuff in there that is the storyline that you see and that you are fed and it's like, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
But then there's actions and there's small little pieces of the puzzle that's in the background, just like they used to do with those backstage conversations, but in the back backstage conversation.
Well, that's how we got Maxine and Austin Theory. They don't completely go away from that.
So this is the part as a fan that I enjoy and I hope they never stop doing. Yep. Because this is the part that makes me drive to continue to watch it to go, I was there. Yeah, I knew.
Right,
knew
yeah. Uh-huh.
Like you could
tell.
You're
Leonardo DiCaprio
right.
in the meme there where you're like, ooh.
Yep, there it is.
I couldn't whistle right there. Damn. Hold on. Nope, still ain't coming. Too much whiskey. Gone.
With the whistle abandoned, you say?
No, the whiskey done dried them lips. Now that's a wrap.
I'll do it.
There you go. But you do the point when you do it because you see it. You're like, oh shit, I knew it.
Yep.
But and I think that's a wink and a nod to the fans because they're not going to dive into these things, but they are letting you know, hey, we hear you. They're letting us know. I mean, they let us know every week that they're listening to our show.
At this point, we're under surveillance.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like our phones are bugged. the soundboard. I mean, we may have to move out of the studio and go back to the house. I mean, at this point now.
I mean, we even had Shiloh showing up with Danhausen.
Holy hell!
And that wasn't even on the show. That was a conversation.
Yeah,
just between us.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's making me kind of nervous here because it's like we were just generally talking about who's the Frankenstein type character that could be, and then we said that guy, and then damned if that guy didn't surface. It's like, wait a minute,
like come on now. But
what are we doing?
So Cody and Punk is now turning into like, all right, we've pulled the brisket from the fridge. It's on the smoker now. It's heating up. It's giving me stuff as I was complaining about last week that I wanted. It's starting to give me what I need. Yeah. I need more. I need more.
They got 2 weeks. I mean, they got 2 SmackDowns left. When you guys are listening to this, it's the morning of second to last SmackDown. You can't give it all to us in one weekend, but when you've only got that small amount of time, you kind of got to shotgun it in there. So they're giving us as much as they can. They're giving us backstage.
Wait.
They're giving us kickoff shows.
You said shotgun. We getting shotgun Saturday night.
I mean, hell, that's night one. That's night one of SummerSlam. The way this is going, that could be that. So
look, if I kind of see how it's going though. We're going to continue to tease, slow build up, and then the SmackDown before SummerSlam, you're gonna get a pull apart.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when they put the sauce on it. There, They're gonna put the sauce on it. And then at SummerSlam night one, we're gonna serve it right on up.
And that's cool with me. We're starting to get there. I had my worries that we weren't gonna get there with Punk and Cody. That it was just gonna be big brother, little brother, blah blah blah.
Well, they listened. Obviously, they listened. They listened to your complaints last week and said, "Well, all right, let's switch it up a little bit." That's why they had Saturday night and then Sunday to switch it up because they heard us on Friday. They were like, "Oh shit, hey, we're messing up here. Let's pivot."
We're messing up.
But Nick Khan will say they never pivot.
Yeah, they never pivot. So interesting stuff happening now between Cody and Punk. Real quick, Roman Seth. Y'all just forget about this one? Like, what happened?
Well, Roman was off this week. I mean, hell, Roman, Brock Lesnar, they were off this week. So, I mean, Oba and Seth had to do as best as they could. And they sprinkled a little, bloodline in there. And, it didn't carry.
So, we're heading full steam into SummerSlam. Good stuff happening with all of the feuds. Where this all leads, who's going to know? But I will tell you this. One thing that I am happy about more than anything else, I am happy that Punk and Cody has gotten way more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yep. I mean, they got me ready. They got me excited for the match.
Now,
finally.
As we close, one thing that I'm sad about.
Okay.
And I'm hoping. So WWE, hear me now. Coming from a fan who is speaking for the voice of the voiceless. Hear me now, please. Please do not let SummerSlam be a repeat of WrestleMania where it's 3-minute matches and 20-minute commercials.
Holy hell.
Please.
Can you imagine our show coming back from that?
Oh, God.
If we get that, if we get that, you make sure to listen to our August 8th show because holy hell, we're going to light that ass up.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's show. We appreciate what you do. Go out on social media platforms, drop us a line, tell us your thoughts. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Peace. Oh, last thing.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.